Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month for this and other games. So, in the last Let's Play, we went down in the basement looking for silverware. And it kind of seemed like Murdoch's dad had a little bit of an episode. Is that how he'd say it? I don't know. He covered himself in the cloth and was talking about fishing and had a very angry face when he pulled the thing off, but then went straight back to normal. We went to the wedding venue and brought the silverware and am getting cleaned up and dressed for the wedding. Hopefully everything goes well. Because remember, one of them's blackmailing the other into getting married, and also there's, possible murder from the murder rug, and also the black cat whose name I don't remember is not where she was. Thought she would be, the night prior. I don't know. We'll have to see and read. Reset face. And begin. I look down the pew and see Jim and Holly aren't at the front. Jim isn't in the chapel at all. Holly is sitting at the pew closest to the bathroom, near both of the only exits in the chapel. I try to walk past, with her back to me, but she speaks. You're quite close to my brother, aren't you? As close as any shopkeeper can be to his employer, ma'am. Quite. She turns her head around to look at me. Oh boy, it's the spooky music. Yet it's clear that you aren't merely a shopkeep, nor a servant. How much is he paying you? I don't disclose my paycheck, ma'am. She purses her lips and opens her pocketbook. She takes out a thin slip of paper. Oh, is she gonna try and be like, hey, I'm gonna pay you more money to not be around him? Maybe because we were a bad influence on him, quotes. So this is a blank check. Write the amount you'd like me to pay you to quit today. I don't have much time or energy to be civil today, so I'd just like to be done with this. Ma'am, at this point, I don't think you could afford to send me home. Just write the number. She hands me a pen, and I take it. I write $500 in an empty space. She takes a look at the check. No, that's quite doable. It is? I should have made the number higher to get the point across. I take the pen back and write 2 zeros after. Then I give her the pen back. Okay, so you're not actually interested in money. Suspicious for an ordinary shopkeep, considering that's the point of why you work. Well, you see, at Murdoch's shop, we're a family. That's the thing that I always hate where in companies stuff where it's like, we're a family, so we get to pay you whatever we want kind of thing, and But anyways, scene here, so I'm gonna put that thought off to the side. So, what exactly are you working for? I don't have a great retort to that. Well, we could just say we lost a bet and we're doing this as a side thing. Hey, it's a man's honor. You ladies wouldn't understand. Loyalty. Okay, fair enough. I see doubt cloud her eyes and her brow furrow. If you weren't in the church, she'd probably shout faggot at any moment. But I can tell she's not looking for a fight. Yet. So, you're genuine to my brother then. Good for him, and good for you. But do you really think staying in this town would be good for him? The opportunities that Jim can open for us are the best thing that could happen to us right now. I can feel that we're running out of time. How does one feel such a thing? Also, how would Jim get the best of things? It's like, we have money. Couldn't we just up and sell the places and maybe get a business somewhere else? do feelers first to be like, hey, where would be a good place to open a shop? Because it's happened before. The miasma and its effect upon the city are well documented in the town hall. Effects such as migraines, shared dreams, hallucinations, escalated acts of violence. All of the men who died left bones and grave markers behind, where it was started and where they were buried. Buried? All the men who died left bones and grave markers. Reading a tall tale is one thing. Living through an act of providence is another. So, they say that this thing might happen every 100 years. In this game I looked up, it is like in the 1915s. And I guess like Echo was supposed to be like 2015, give or take half a decade or so. So that means the previous event would have to have happened like in the 1850s. I guess it would be like a very old church or something like that, like a mission. Maybe Native Americans around? God, not Satan, you think? Maybe we do have something in common. I'm going to go back in case I missed something. Okay. God made Satan, you fool. He is the end and the beginning. We would be fools to stay here, just like the men of Sodom and Gomorrah. Then maybe he'll leave. Not a chance. That damn rat has him locked into place here. Huh? I didn't expect her to say that. Ralph wants to leave Echo too. She lets out a quick and concerned shriek of laughter. And lose his money pot? His business is good here. So good that he has my brother hooked on his drugs too. Well, he is doing something though. I think it's just weed, right? Right? It's been a hot minute. The last thing he'd ever do is leave. Certainly not before it's too late anyway. At this point, I can't tell if one of them is lying to me or if they just both genuinely mistrust one another. This goes deeper. It might have started on the day their brother died. Maybe even before that. Why isn't your mother concerned? Because she's stubborn and faithless. She's not nearly as close to God as she claims, and everyone knows. But they don't care because she gets things done. That won't matter when there's a reckoning. If you can manage to help him find a way out, then you won't have an enemy in me. If you interfere with my own survival plans, you'll find my ire potent. She stands and looks me over once more. Now, if you will please, my family is expecting my appearance. She turns away and disappears behind sliding window door. What a cat she is. I hear Jim's voice, but don't see him, until I realize that he's sitting on the floor next to the wall, smoking a cigarette. You shouldn't be smoking in church, and you shouldn't be swallowing my seed. Come on, dude. Whatever. Funny how these scruples are based on lunacy wash over us. He flicks a bit of ash on the carpet. Okay, that could start a fire. Relax. I won't burn us all down. As much as I'd like to. He chuckles bitterly, and then goes back to smoking. So, what did you make about Holly's speech? About God? He looks at me incredulously. Who the hell knows? It kind of helps when I look at their expression right here, even though their expression is like this, amused, shocked, and a kind of not wide range of things, because it got like, what, usually 5? She could be making all this folklore and crystal nonsense for some other aim of hers, making up it. The minds are weird, though. I feel the soreness in my head throb. Oh yeah, we haven't heard the guy in our head in a while. Weird how. Irregular layouts that seem like they should promote cave instability, but they're stable. Oh, right, because he's a geologist. Copious numbers of carbon monoxide pockets without a clear source of emissions. Traces of gold that should lead to a logical vein, but which do not. And more quartz than you would care to see, though that's not unusual by any means. Quartz is the most abundant mineral in the crust of this planet. Yes, it's SiO2, and also very weather resistant. I wouldn't give these ideas thought, if not for the delirium it's cast on Holly. She's genuinely scared. I don't take my acknowledgement of that as forgiveness or concern. She's crossed the line with me that she can't uncross. Are you still going through with the marriage then? Is there any other recourse? Two or three sets of photos have been destroyed. He nods. That's half, which makes it worthless. Even if you go through with the wedding ceremony, you don't have to make it legal. There still would be time, so long as you still go through with the ceremony. He gives me an impatient look. I'm here, aren't I? What nags you all are. Because you clearly don't need any help. Don't patronize me. You're getting things out of this performance too. Only thing you want is Holly's brother out of y'all's mess. A mess that he contributed to, as you so wisely reminded me of yesterday. Should we rejoin the party then, Groom? I hold up my hand to him and beckon impatiently. He gives me a look like it's a soiled rag, but he takes it and lifts himself to his legs. As we return to the veranda by now, the population of attendees has grown threefold. Also, I don't know, this looks like a nice little town. Very rustic though. Just thinking of some kind of like, Oregon Trail 2 thing where it's like, the merchant here in town says that there's something going on. Y'all gotta get a wagon train and some oxen before you leave. Don't forget to get a rifle and some bullets. Kinda want to play that game again. Anyways, as I return to the veranda by now, population attendees have grown to threefold. There's even more women present who I don't recognize. Hardly any of them seem to be as young as Holly, which isn't surprising considering the demographic of the city. So I'm not surprised most of them would be Gretchen's friends and associates rather than Holly's. But I didn't expect to see her. Oh, hey, how's it doing? Good afternoon, Mr. Briars. Good afternoon. The afternoon is great, Dora, and so is the company. I'm glad you decided to attend. Echo wouldn't be the same without the Briars matriarch, would it, Gretchen? Of course, I have an interest in this event. She crosses her arms. No bar, I see. No need. This is a family event. Of course, there are still a variety of unique beverages to choose from on your menu that don't require alcohol. Cynthia looks like she's trying to change the subject. It's sort of working. Ah, there's the bride-to-be. Oh, Miss Soranzo. You look as stunning as ever. Only flatter yourself today, girl. This is your day. Please excuse my humility, then, Miss Soranzo. Humility is an overrated quality. She lets out a small sigh and turns to her mother, but Gretchen has only eyes for the madame. Well spoken. And there's the groom. Jim is standing by himself, spitting a glass of suspiciously dark-colored liquid. Well, he needs to, have the hair of the dog or hair of the cat. I have tried that, I think, 2 times in my life. Don't do that. At least for me, because it's like, wow, I feel a bit better. Let's have some more. It looks like he's adjusting the pocket inside of his coat before any of the onlookers reach the table. Dora smirks a bit, quite likely for several reasons. Gretchen either isn't picking anything up or is choosing to ignore it. Ah, looks like he'll show your daughter a thing or two about excitement. My good sir, are you lonely sitting at this table all by yourself? It's reserved for his friends and his parents. So why is it empty? I was about to ask myself. It's a good question, Jim. For a moment, I'm impressed to see how she can say that statement without a trace of edge in her voice. It can only sound dangerous if you know. It must be the first time I felt an uncanny resemblance between her and her mother. But Jim just shrugged. My friends might have caught a travel sickness. They were under the weather last night. What a shame. As for my parents, neither absence nor tardiness is their style. They should be here. Perhaps the train had some difficulties? That's not unusual as of late. I hadn't heard her talk about that before, but from the tone of her voice, it sounds serious. I can't tell if that's a typo, but... Oh, let's just do this here and then I'll put it light away, you know? And reset page just in case. I have a big yacht because it's, what, 10 o'clock? I don't know, I wanted to do more of this, and I felt like I could do it. Well, they have 30 minutes before the beginning of the ceremony. Too many people have taken time out of their lives to be here, so postponement is out of the question. They can pay for a second ceremony if they're upset about it. Don't fret. I'm sure that won't be necessary. Well, maybe you should be less sure. Why, if I missed my daughter's ceremony, then I'd be devastated. I'm sure your mother wouldn't be happy about missing the most important day of your life. Jim gives her a very thin smile as he drinks from his glass. I can tell that he's doing so to prevent himself from speaking. Let's just hope for the best instead of worrying ourselves over something that hasn't ever even happened. If the train doesn't make it, then it's nobody's fault. Is she speaking in earnest, or does she think he has something to do with her absence? Ain't possible to tell, really. We knew he told his friends not to come last night, but all his family and friends being gone is suspicious. Right then. I should go practice my vows. I as well. The walk in opposite directions while the crowd sort of hovers around the now empty table. Okay, that is definitely a typo. So let's just put 1 here on the desk top. And then print screen number 2. Boop. Let me refill your drinks. Jim walks in my direction, then he suddenly stops. I think he's gonna talk to me for a moment when I feel somebody step out of my shadow. I've brought it for you. Brought me what? She holds her palm out to Jim, showing him a silver coin. Thank you, but I won't be needing it. The old fox's brow lifts as her eyes twinkle a bit. You sure, laddie? Quite. He closes her palm. I just don't have the time for this right now. Swiftly, he struts away. Murdoch's grandmother nods and smiles a little smile. I see. Best I do keep it then. She doesn't seem too fussed for somebody whose family tradition was just burned. Wonder why. A pipe organ from the church begins to play. People on the veranda start standing, moving aimlessly in the direction of the church, when the crowd of people aren't clogging their way. Sam, aren't you supposed to be helping people get to their seats? Why is that? Because you're dressed like an usher. I think Mr. Burris said I am one of those. Ushers help people get to their seats. Nobody told me. Have you not been to a wedding before? A flustered-looking Murdoch pushes through the door, looking left and right until he spots us. He makes his way to us very carefully, excusing himself liberally as he passes through the gaggle of people. There you are, Sam. Ralph has most of the people bottlenecked at the east door, but it could get pretty dangerous if we don't help. Help how? Nobody told me how to help. Just guide half-dozen people in and make sure they get to their seats. It's not that difficult. No, he's right. I should have prepared him better before. We had everybody trying to rush in at once. So, where have you been? Delilah's not here. Oh. She's normally so quiet and gentle that I wouldn't have noticed her gone. Where is she? Nobody knows. And they were giving Jim shit about his family. At least he had an excuse for them being out of town. So, what now? The church music changes again. I guess now we have to usher. Okay. It's been 2 days down here in the dark, with not much to go off but our normal marks. There's enough food in the tromping grounds to last me a month if I have to, but if Melissa's alive, I'll be damned if I spend another day without letting her eat. I can't believe she did this for Mary of all people. No way in hell that girl would have done all that for her. I mean, we got 10 minutes. Sometimes I think I should have kept my mouth shut. Should I have teased her less about her grades? And then I remember that should'ves and would'ves don't fucking matter. I can do something now, and Lord above, help anybody who wants to stand in my way. And Lord above, help it. And Lord above, help anybody who wants to stand in my way. That's a phrase that took me a second to, Melissa never saw the man who was chasing her, but she heard him. Ain't nobody I ever heard, for that matter. Wait, did she make... Was that the person that was being chased by the culprit, and then there was like a spider monster? Ain't nobody ever heard, for that matter. That's useful in some ways. Ahead of me in the tunnels, I see the man in the rays of light from time to time. He's certainly not a person, because he smiles at me with his jack-o'-lantern grin that's too big for his face, and he stares at me with no eyes, but skin covered tight over sockets. Like you would wind the skin of an animal over a drum. Wind. Like you would wind the skin of an animal over a drum. Okay. I was like, oh, there doesn't seem to be a lot of typos, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you said there wouldn't be a lot of typos. But when I keep on walking up to him, he just vanishes into motes of dust. The spirit seems to think it's taunting, because it thinks I'm looking for a man who is a monster. The reality is that I'm looking for a man who is a coward. A man who would exchange the lives of little girls and boys for just more time to waste on this planet. I can be terrible too, if I need to be. But as I keep looking, I occasionally hear real men in the distance. Yesterday, it was mostly miners that, with their pickaxes, shouting things to one another. Today, it has been oddly quiet. Like there's nobody working in the mine. could be bad. If my dad notices that I'm gone early, then he'll probably figure out where I've gone to send a search party, and if that happens, then I lose Melissa. I step knee-deep into water. This looks right. It looks like where she found Mary, but I don't see any trace of a body. Or, if it was here, it's not anymore. Was I wrong? Doesn't matter. I'm still going to look. That spirit is in the light again. He changed his look slightly. He has eyes too small for his face, and long black claws. He likes to wiggle at me, clicking against the rock. I'm starting to wish spirits are physical, so I could bite into it to know what it tastes like. I'm getting pretty hungry again. It disappears again on account that I got too close to another light beam. Melissa! I shout into the cave and hear my voice echo throughout the tunnels. Nobody responds. Don't wake up those who sleep, child. Nobody matters anyway. I climb over one of the shallower rock slopes. Melissa? Noisome people oft have noisome ments. Melissa! I shout even louder. You have to be quiet, or else it'll come back. There's a cracked voice calling out to me. A sound of the voice that comes from between a very tight pairing of particular vertical rock. I'd know that voice anywhere, cracked or not. I don't waste any more time and slide between the stones. There's even more of a slope upward and light coming from the ceiling. Oh, hey, it's a wabbit. In the darkness, I start to see her, crumpled against the rock. She's dirty, disheveled, and looks at least 10 years older than she used to. But she's alive. Blythe? Yes. Is that you? Are you real? Yes. My God, it's really you. I shake her and laugh. Well, of course it's me. Who else would it be? All I know when I like this music. When I see her is take her into a tight hug. I knew these pieces of shit tunnels wouldn't be the end of you. Come on, let's get out of here. I tug her hand, but she resists. What are you waiting for? Blythe, I can't. I don't want to go out there. It's fine. They killed Mary, she just said. No pauses. No stuttering. A Melissa bloke fact is always stated like how she states the weather. Some people might tell you that the mood outside is a little bit dreary. Some might not bother looking at all. Those people might tell you that there's a chance of clouds. They won't commit too hard to a lie they told for being lazy, which they don't want to get caught in. Some people will hear a tornado, but shake their hands and hide, refusing to look, refusing to get into the cellar. But if it's wet outside, Melissa will be the one who tells you it's raining. She knows there's no way around that. Even if it might be sunny tomorrow, you still need an umbrella now. Some people did, yes. And if you run into him, I'm gonna be the one doing the killing. Blythe, there's a monster! Those can't hurt you. How do you know? You ain't dead, are you? It was too big. Now, why would a spirit be confined to a physical space like that? I don't know if there are rules or not. I think they can only hurt dead people. How do you know that? 'Cause they had plenty of opportunities to hurt me, I think. She holds her arm and crouches down. Now that I think about that, have you been eating down here? Or what have you been eating out here? What have you had? What have you had? You've had to have been here for what? 4? 5 days? I lucked out. Lucked out? How do you mean lucked out? Young woman? It's coming from the direction of the light. Young woman, are you still down here? Or there? Who's that? Wait, is there another one of you? You knew she was down here? Why, stop it. He's the one that's been giving me food. But he didn't tell nobody. Now, young lady, I've done everything in my power to help your friend, to the extent that I've given her food from my very table. Wait a minute. I think I recognize that voice. Aren't you James Hendricks, the owner of the mines? Co-owner of Mr. Briggs, yes, or with Miss Briggs. Okay, then that's perfect. Send some of your men to come help Melissa. She's weak. We hear some fiddling with what sounds like filing cabinets. Is this underneath his office? The men have been away the last few days, so my hands are a bit tied. What? Are you familiar with the idea of a strike, young lady? Yes. I don't care about that. Lisa needs help right now. I keep telling you, he's been helping me, Blythe. At least Miss Bloke understands the concept of civility, Miss Blythe. My last name is Washington. I think I employ a Washington. You do. That's my dad. Right. He wouldn't be happy to have you girls traipsing down my mines, you know? That's okay. He can come find us now. So, again, what with all the union activity? My dad isn't striking. We don't have the money to spare. Could you please go get help now? What I'm getting at, Miss Washington, is that if two very weak young girls are pulled out of my mine, the papers would have a field day and the strikes would grow bold. Mr. Hendricks? Okay, well, I don't care. We would still like to go. Right. You know, that space up there looks big enough for me and Melise to climb up. Just throw us down some rope and we can climb out ourselves if you need us to be sneaky about this. Still risky. So, what do you suggest we do? Well, the union trouble should blow over in a couple of days. Why don't you stay put? Mr. Hendricks. I sigh plenty loud that you can hear me. First of all, a couple of days means 2. You seem to imply that's a minimum. Secondly, neither I nor Melissa will be staying down here for one more single day. If you just pull us out of a hole, we'll make up some lies about how you're a hero and handsome and stuff. You'll look great. Is that a deal? We listen to the droplets in the cave while we wait for him to respond again. That sounds pretty great, right? Oh my god. What? Oh my god. What's going on up there? I'm so sorry, girls. The light in the hole goes particularly dark. What the hell? Mr. Hendricks? This is for your own benefit, I promise. Mr. Hendricks, please. Ooh. The light in the hole goes completely dark. Lisa starts screaming. Just drop us a rope, you fucking asshole. He sealed it up. I know. We're gonna have to go back. But we can't go back. Yes, we can. I've been in this case 100 times. We'll be fine, okay? She nods, but I can tell her heart isn't entirely in it. But she's cooperating with me, which is all I need. We're getting out. We're gonna be okay. What the hell made him run off like that? Goddamn coward son of a bitch. So, the strike is why I didn't hear anybody earlier. She kind of spooked me when I just saw her over there. But as we're running through the tunnels, I can hear somebody. There's somebody close by one of the tunnels. We can't go near anybody. Any of them might try to hurt us, especially if it's that awful man. He's not trying to be quiet, and we know what the other man sounds like. It takes us time to listen to his voice. He sounds panicked, and his voice is deep. Much deeper than whoever Melissa heard. But what's he saying? Pods palats. Oh, I'm gonna do a bit of cheating. I know we're a bit over time. Papadopoulos. Pods palat. Incendiary? I think I've heard that language before. Central European. Oh, I guess what's the language? It's Polish. I think I've heard that word before. Can you speak it? No, but one of my dad's friends is a latch. I think it means arsonist. You don't think there's a fire in the tunnel, do you? Things just got real bad for us, if there is. We see a very large man running through the beams of light towards us. I think he's a bear. No, he's a badger. Hey, it's Nick! Hey, stop. What? Little girls? You shouldn't be down here. It's not safe. You have to run. And with that scene changes going back to here, it's a good time to call it. I miss Nick. Because, like, here's the... Well, I guess Nick is in William's roots. I'm trying to think because I remember him being like, I'm avoiding you because something. Let's see, in Cliff's route, he's pretty much non-existent as far as I remember. And he isn't very in Murdoch's route. It's kind of funny. It's like Murdoch, he got a little bit of Cliff. We don't get any William now that I think about it, pretty much. You get Cliff's route, which I think is a bit of William, but definitely more at the end, at least for the little snippet that we were at the end there. But there's definitely Murdoch in it. With William, you have Murdoch and Cliff a bit, and we haven't started Nick. Though, I kind of wanted to see one thing. Extras? Okay. I think we got that. I guess there isn't anything after this chapter? Router vision. Oh. Interesting. Yeah. And if this, let's place a comment. Cause like comments, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like me, YouTube, and like it grow, then please like, subscribe, and share the rest of the ground. Please remember me a new animal step control the pit population. Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen after we do this thing, because like we got the smoke room, we got Beacon Pines, they're kind of racing with each other because Beacon Pines helps me have a bit of time not talking. Then, oh yeah, we're gonna have to find something to cover Gloryhound's spot, since it finished, kinda. And then we got Leshards and Echo. It's kind of funny, I did a whole bunch of Echo, and now it's like, oh, it's starting to eke back into not a lot of things. Granted, Leo's been taking up the lion's share of it with 53 videos. Anyways, comment, spay your animals if you want to play this game. Free on itch.io, but if you want to support the people, it has stuff on Patreon. $3 a month for this and other games. And until next time, let's say, me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. So thanks and see ya.